Thank you very much for coming out on this wet, wet evening to the South Surrey White Rock All Candidates meeting on rail issues. My name is Daphne McFarland, and I have lived and worked in the South Surrey White Rock area for over 35 years. I raised my family here and built a business here. And like all of you here tonight, I am very concerned about the train traffic through our community. In fact, you could argue that the train is the most important issue for this riding. We've seen the number of trains increasing year after year. The noise from the trains prevents us from getting a solid night's sleep. The vibration shakes our homes. The dangerous goods being transported, including oil and chlorine gas, could level our communities. And the volume of the world's dirtiest fossil fuel coal being transported is scheduled to increase. When I learned that there were no all candidates meetings being held on the train issue, I decided to put one on myself. I recruited my neighbor, Cindy McMullen, and then we contacted Paula Williams, co-founder of the group Communities and Coal, to help us. As you may know, Communities and Coal is challenging Port Metro Vancouver in federal court over the Fraser-Surrey Docks coal permit approval. After a bit of discussion, in a very short time frame, the three of us organized this event. I think it's 2 weeks. We are very happy to see 5 of the 6 candidates here tonight. We want to hear their ideas on rail safety, dangerous goods, noise, track relocation, and coal transport. And we want to know what they will be willing to fight for in Ottawa, should they be voted our Member of Parliament for South Surrey White Rock. Our moderator this evening is Helen Fathers. Helen hardly needs an introduction. Many of us see her every Sunday at the White Rock Farmers Market, where she is the operation manager. She's a White Rock City Councillor and is also the director of the BC Association of Farmers Markets. We are very happy that she is here with us this evening. Thank you, Helen. So I'm going to hand things over to Helen now. She'll introduce the candidates and describe the format for this evening's event.
Thank you, Daphne. It's really great to be here this evening. It's really great to see so many people from our communities on a rainy evening, so welcome everybody. I'd just like to start off by just saying a couple of things. If anyone has cell phones, if they wouldn't mind turning them off, that would be really wonderful. Thank you very much. So I'm going to start by saying the collaboration that was put this evening by the 3 women that were mentioned, Daphne McFarland, Cindy McMillan, and also Paula Williams from the Communities and Coal organisation. These ladies put this event together in 2 weeks, so I think we owe them a huge round of applause. That is quite an accomplishment. So first of all, we're going to introduce the candidates, and I'm going to start off from the right, or my right, which is your guys' left. And the first candidate is Judy Higginbottom, who is representing the Liberal Party. Judy Higginbottom has lived in South Surrey White Rock area for the past 40 years and has served as a Surrey City Councillor for 25 years. Judy is a lifelong Liberal who has advocated for many important issues such as transportation, youth and senior services, and has fought against high taxes in Surrey. Judy was a teacher for 10 years, is an active member of the theatre and arts community, and has served on over 40 committees. She was named Businesswoman of the Year by the Surrey Business Professional Women's Association and received the Solicitor General's Crime Prevention Award for her work in national and international crime prevention. If we'd like to welcome Judy. And next on the list is Brian Marlatt for the Progressive Canadian Party. Brian Marlatt has called South Surrey home since 1990. He's a freelance writer on general science and public policy. He has a business background in consumer electronics, importing and distribution. His political experience includes membership in the Progressive Canadian Party of Canada from 1998 to 2003, where he has served as policy chair of the party's riding association and is a member of the party's policy advisory committee in BC, which established principles for the Senate reform. Since 2003, he has been a member of the Progressive Canadian Party and sits on their National Council and is a BC organiser for the party. He works to restore a national progressive conservative alternative for Canadians, and we'd like to welcome Brian. Next on the list is Larry Calera, representing the Green Party. Larry Calera is a professional facilitator and management consultant who has served clients from 20 different sectors of the economy. His projects include teaching corporate ethics at UBC and SFU, and his framework of ethical principles has been used worldwide. Larry first ran for the Green Party in 2011. He never aspired to politics, but felt compelled to do something after he witnessed the Harper government's demolition of Canadian charities that had taken decades to build. We'd like to welcome Larry. Next on the list is Bonnie Hugh for the Libertarian Party. Bonnie Hugh holds a diploma in business administration, purchasing and supply management from Seneca College. She has worked as a cashier in the food court of Semiahmoo Mall and hopes to pursue a career in procurement. Her policy advocates for smaller government and more personal freedom. We'd like to welcome Bonnie. And next on the list is Pixie Hobby, representing the NDP. Pixie Hobby is an environmental lawyer who has worked for the Federal Department of Justice for 32 years. Eventually representing Environment Canada and developing the Canadian Environmental Assessment Act. She also worked on environment issues with First Nations and was involved with the development of First Nation land management and the inherent right to self-government policy. Since then, she's focused in the area of environmental assessments of major development projects, including Delta Port Container Terminal Berth 3, Enridge Northern Gateway Pipeline Project, the New Prosperity Gold and Copper Mine and Site C Clean Energy Project. She is now practicing environmental law from her home in Crescent Beach, but also takes the time for some of the simpler things in life and is a keen gardener, a beekeeper and an amateur musician. If we'd like to welcome Pixie.